Some affiliate marketers who have been struggling would swear up and down that making sales online is nearly impossible. Well, with the right traffic and the right sales materials, you are bound to generate sales from time to time. Closing a sale is not the problem. Generating consistent, high-value sales, that's the issue. Don't confuse the two. Sadly, even if you are able to master the art of online sales, you may still continue to struggle. I understand that this is better than not generating any sales at all, but if you put in a lot of time, effort, and energy into generating online sales only to settle for a low or middling amount, you're wasting your time. That's the bottom line. As the old saying goes, either you go big or you go home. Thankfully, there is a way out. You don't have to stick to the grind. You don't have to put in all these hours away from your loved ones just so you can put food on the table. Here's where my advice for you comes in. With my advice, you will learn how to maximize the return that you get for all your efforts. You will learn how to be at the right place, talk about the right things at the right time with the right people. You will make sure how to apply the first step right. Get this wrong, and you are going to waste your time, effort, and money. You will also learn how to target the right audience the right way. You will also learn how to unlock the power of segmentation so you can tap into high-ticket sales. To make it easy, I've put together a step-by-step guide that will show you exactly how it's done. Introducing High-Ticket Sales Secrets. Discover how to make high-ticket sales by working with the right clients the right way. No stones are left unturned when you get your hands on this now. You will become a complete expert on this, and you'll get everything you need inside to do the same. Here's just a quick preview of what you'll discover inside. Make sure you're in the right niche. You must target the right client. Unlock the power of segmentation so you can tap into high-ticket sales. A case study. Know the big picture. Get inside the high-ticket sale buyer's mindset. Conducting a high-ticket sales campaign the hard way. The shortcut to high-ticket sales. Fine-tune your reverse-engineered brand. Picking the right high-ticket service or product to sell. Plus, a whole lot more. This is the easiest way to discover how to make high-ticket sales by working with the right clients the right way. Who needs this step-by-step guide? If you answer yes to any of the below, you need this. You want to stop struggling on making sales online. You want to stop putting a lot of time, effort, and money into generating online sales only to settle for a low middling amount. You want to avoid working around the clock for chump change. You want to get the biggest reward out of all your investment. You want to learn how to maximize the return that you get for all your efforts. Does this sound like exactly what you need? But maybe your next question is, how much? If you were going to hire an expert on this to show you how it's done, you could easily find yourself investing hundreds of dollars for this sort of coaching. In fact, many people invest hundreds and thousands of dollars to get into coaching programs or attend workshops. But you won't have to invest anywhere near that today. Make sure you're in the right niche. Any discussion of high-ticket sales marketing must first begin with niche selection. Get this wrong, and you're going to waste your time, effort, and money. This is non-negotiable. If you make a mistake with the niche that you pick to build your business on, you're going to fail. The truth is, not all niches pay the same. Niches are essentially subject matter categories involving your target audience's problems, needs, or interests. These are different subjects and they attract different audiences. Some audiences are willing to pay a lot of money. Other audiences are not as willing. Even within the high-paying audiences, there is a question of timing. There are certain products and service categories that compel people to spend a lot of money right away. Unfortunately, these are relatively few. These are comparatively few when you line them up with all the other niches out there. Ideally, this is where you should be. You should look for niches that pay really well and people need to order merchandise or services almost immediately. The reality, most niches pay poorly. There, I said it. Most niches don't pay all that well. Well, this might rub you the wrong way. You might tell me that when you check Google's keyword planner tool, you notice that a lot of niches that you're interested in actually command fairly high PPC pay-per-click figures. My answer is, look closer. If you pay attention to those figures, it turns out that, in many cases, for people to click on an ad that pays that much, they must be really, really interested already. In other words, they have been pre-qualified and they are ready to buy. That's usually not the case. Usually people are interested in a wide range of topics, but they're not ready to buy. They're ready to do a lot of research. They don't have a problem with comparing different sources of information, but when it comes to buying, they're not quite there. This is why I can say with utmost confidence that most niches pay poorly when you look at immediacy. It's not enough that people may pay good money for a particular range of merchandise or a particular type of service. That's not the issue. The issue is how willing they are to pay. Don't build your house on sand. To make matters worse, the best niches, high pay and high demand, tend to get saturated very quickly. It's easy to see why. You need to build your business on a solid foundation. This means that your target niche must be lucrative enough and must have a high sense of buyer urgency. Otherwise, you're building your house on sand. You can build tons of these and end up making very little money. Unless you want to play the volume game, where you are cranking out hundreds of websites, and each of these websites make, at best, a couple of dollars a day, you're going to have to be more careful about niche selection. You have to be systematic and methodical regarding the type of business you build and the platform you choose to convert your traffic. You also have to be systematic about getting the right kind of traffic and qualifying it so it is more likely to convert. All of this boils down to selecting the right niche. You must target the right client. In any kind of market, there will always be audience segmentation. It's easy to think that just because you are targeting insurance as a niche, you can automatically assume you will make a lot of money. On the surface, this seems very reasonable. After all, when you go to Google Keyword Planner tool and load up all sorts of insurance-related keywords, you get really high figures. It's not uncommon for an insurance-related term to pay $30 or more per click. What's not to love? But here's the problem. That market has many segments. Not everybody who looks for insurance online is ready to buy. Not everybody who is interested in buying an insurance policy is willing to pay top dollar. In fact, in many cases, a lot of people looking for insurance would rather pay the least amount of money or take out the cheapest type of policy possible. Welcome to the world of market segmentation. Audiences in what seem like lucrative niches have different needs. They tend to segment themselves. There are people who are willing to pay top dollar immediately. There are people who are willing to pay top dollar later on. There are people who are not willing to pay market rates and are always looking for a bargain, but they are willing to buy now. Finally, there are people who are very cheap and are willing to wait. Which of these audience members would it make sense for you to chase? This is not rocket science. It should be quite obvious. Always be aware of the differences between your target customers. Just because people are interested in the high-value niche you are targeting, it doesn't mean that all your visitors will convert. If this is your assumption, I would not be surprised if you continue to struggle. You're setting yourself up for a disappointment. You have to be aware of the differences between your audience members. And this is not just a simple matter of segmentation or being aware that this is going on. This must affect how you market using content and information online. People who are looking to pay top dollar immediately are looking for certain types of content. You have to address them a certain way. Different audiences need different marketing approaches. Otherwise, you may put yourself in the impossible situation of trying to convert a cheap customer with high-value material intended for top-tier customers. It all boils down to segmentation. This training is all about high-ticket sales. Accordingly, you have to be in the right high-value niche, and you must target people who will not hesitate to pay a lot of money almost immediately. This must be your mantra. This target audience must be your objective. If you are in any way unsure or unclear about this concept, you will end up sabotaging yourself. Your marketing content may not line up with the psychology of high-ticket customers. You end up dropping the ball. Your sales conversion funnel may send contradictory messages that try to appeal to different types of buyers in your niche. Again, when you send such confusing signals, people would end up confused. Let me tell you a simple truth about online sales. When consumers are confused, they can be relied on to do nothing. I've seen this happen a million times before. Somebody sees my advertising materials. They check out my content. They sign up for my mailing list. They get excited about my updates, and they keep coming back to my website. You may be thinking that this is a good thing. No, I see it for what it is. It is a problem. They keep coming back, but they never quite get the messaging that they're looking for. It's obvious that at some point they are ready to buy. They have built enough trust in my brand. That's not the issue. The issue is that among these many different contact points, there are contradictory messages. They can't quite put their finger on it. This is why they're still on the fence. The sad situation I just described happens to a lot of marketers. I'm writing this training because I was able to overcome it. This is crucial. You have to target the right client. It all boils down to segmentation. Blow this and you are going to put yourself in a tough spot. Unlock the power of segmentation so that you can tap into high-ticket sales. The great thing about the issues that I raised in video 2 is that, for the most part, they beg their solution. In other words, you just need to look at the problem and connect the dots. The solution basically comes at you. If you are unaware of the different types of internet users, you can easily find out. You can easily check the segments of buyers or potential buyers in your niche. You can also look at your statistics, or you can research your competitors and see their strategies in attracting potential buyers who are ready to buy. Regardless of how you do it, it all leads back to the same place. It all leads to segmentation. You have to master this. You have to figure this out. Otherwise, you won't get those high-ticket sales. They're just not going to happen. What is a high-ticket sale anyway? Before I go any further, I want to nail down some definitions. I know you probably already have some sort of understanding as to what high-ticket sales mean. I can also guarantee that your definition is a little bit off. I'm not saying that you're flat out wrong. I'm just saying that it's slightly off. Most marketers define high-ticket sales as products and services that cost at least 3 figures, if not 4. Once you start selling products or services that cost several $100s or thousands of dollars, you can safely say that you are selling high-ticket sale items. But this is just part of the picture. You cannot stop here. If you do, your high-ticket sales strategy is going to be very shallow and ultimately self-defeating. What do I mean by that? Well, if you know that each item you sell in your niche can get you $5,000, it's very easy to build a business that is geared towards just getting that first and only sale. You put in a lot of work, you burn through a lot of time to get that $5,000. Once you get that sale, it's too easy for you to think that this is a one-time sale. You can easily be forgiven for thinking that way because that's how most marketers think. It's a one-time, big-time kind of affair. This is too bad. And this is also the reason why a lot of marketers end up failing later on. The key to high-ticket sales. The key to high-ticket sales involves 2 very powerful components. They impact what you do before and after the high-ticket sale event. If you're clueless about this strategy, you'll be left in the sad position of constantly working to get new customers so you can get them to sign on the dotted line and give you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars with that one sale. The problem is, they're gone after the deal. They may not have been all that happy, but they may not be so unhappy that they demand a refund. Regardless of how you play it, it's still a one-time, big-time kind of situation. This is a tremendous lost opportunity because when you are scaling up or you're ramping up your relationship with that prospect to get them to buy that high-ticket sale item or service, you are presented with a tremendous amount of opportunities. After they enter their credit card information and they go through with the sale, you're given another opportunity. Think in big picture terms. The secret to high-ticket sales is sustainability. This has nothing to do with the one-time, big-time mindset. Get that idea out of your head. If that's how you think, you are playing this game to lose. To win in the high-ticket sales game, you have to take care of what the customer goes through before the sale, and you have to have a plan for what happens after the sale. Build a solid brand first, and then get them to upscale. A lot of people who try to sell high-ticket sales items basically think, more like hoping and wishing, that when prospects get enough information, they will finally decide to spend thousands of dollars. It doesn't work that way. Do you understand what you're requiring of the customer? If you're like most customers, it's hard enough for you to buy something that is worth $50 to $100. You would need to see the brand several times. You would need to feel assured about the brand and that the people behind it are not going to rip you off. You probably would expect to hear enough about the brand's products for you to think that this brand or product line is legit. This is what you would expect, at a minimum, as a responsible consumer. The bottom line is, you're not going to buy something that costs hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on a whim. This is not an impulse buy. If you're like most consumers in the United States, a purchase of thousands of dollars is going to set you back quite a bit in terms of your household budget. This is why high-ticket sales marketers set up a scaling relationship with the customer. They go through different types of information to build trust, and then they are sold packages that scale up, depending on need and familiarity. This then culminates or climaxes with the big-ticket sale. At that point, it wouldn't feel like that much of a jump. Each step of the way, you have demonstrated the value your brand brings to the table. Even if you're an affiliate marketer selling somebody else's product, you earn your high-ticket sales customers' trust by giving them the right solution at the right time, at the right stage of their relationship with you. Case study. I handled the marketing campaign for a company that provided high-value and high-cost MBA admission services to wealthy overseas clients. That niche's target audience are very busy professionals. They don't have much time, and that's why they're ready, willing, and eager to pay thousands of dollars at a time for services that they need to get into the world's elite business schools. The first thing that these people are looking for is to determine whether you know what you're talking about. This means that you have to deliver information that establishes three things very quickly. First, you give information that filters your audience members. My target audience members are people looking to go to school abroad for an advanced degree. I don't waste time with why you should get an MBA. I don't waste time with how an MBA can improve your career. My target customers already know the answer. Instead, I wrote about the elite programs out there and how international students can cope with the system and how this leads to networks or contacts. Once I get their attention, they quickly know what I'm talking about because I mentioned statistics. I provided the kind of charts that you would expect in a business report. I speak their language. This builds trust and authority. I would then break down Chinese students' needs compared to other students with a special focus on professionals. They then go through a process where they see how confusing and how potentially fatal certain mistakes in this process can be. They get scared. Long story short, they buy product after product as their trust scales up. This culminates with the full customized one-to-one package offered by the back-end service I was promoting. That's when the prospect steps up to the $5,000 or $7,500 package. At this point, the price tag is no longer an issue. How come? I walked them through the process where they got so scared about dropping the ball or making a small mistake that they buy insurance. That's why I was able to convert these people like clockwork. Know the big picture. Understand that high-ticket sales require the right system. You have to filter them properly. You have to scale them up in terms of their purchases. Here's the secret. At first, get them to pay $1. That's how you separate the simple information seekers from actual potential buyers. Now, let's be clear. You're not going to get rich from $1 sales. Once you have people transferred over to your buyer's mailing list, you have to continue scaling them up and filtering them until you get to your target audience. These are people who are willing to pay a lot of money because they can see the value of whatever it is you're offering, and they have a tremendous sense of urgency. Either they need to buy right now because there's some sort of deadline that's about to pass, or they have completely given up on doing it themselves or having it done locally or tapping their own network. You have them eating at the palm of your hands. The big picture also includes what happens next. Now that you've gotten somebody to pay $1,000 to $5,000 or several $100s or whatever it is, don't stop. MBA students from China, who are often sons and daughters of multimillionaires, have needs once they get to Canada, Europe, or the United States. Even when they're in the MBA program, they would also have needs. This is crucial because you cannot drop the ball here. It's very tempting to think, I've already got several $1,000s from this list member. Why should I even bother about what happens next? Here's the simple answer. The cheapest and most lucrative form of business you will ever get is repeat business. Let me repeat that. The cheapest and most lucrative income you will make is from repeat business. These people already know what you're capable of. They already trust you enough to spend big money. Now is not the time to drop the ball and forget about them. They still have needs. In my case, they would need a place to stay. They would need job placement services. They would need networking services. In some cases, they need life coaching. I can go on and on. You have to look at your customers the same way. Just because you have converted them already within the main niche of your business, it does not mean that all their other needs go away. There are many related niches as well. In my case, visa assistance and immigration legal services were the natural extension of the service I provided my customers. You have to think along these lines, and if you do, your list goes up in value over time. The more your relationship with your customer base matures, the more valuable it becomes. What started out as a $1 sale quickly turns into a sale of a few dozen dollars, which then leads to several $100s worth of sales, and then the big one, the $5,000 or even the $7,000 commitment. After that, believe it or not, lies even more money. It costs several $1,000s to retain an immigration attorney. Helping someone get settled in certain parts of the world can result in commissions to the tune of several $100s. Do the math. Think long term. Think in terms of relationship. The secret? Filtering. If I wasn't clear yet, let me just break it down. Your job is to filter your prospects as quickly and as cleanly as possible. Separate information seekers from potential buyers. This is where your $1 product comes in. You then separate low-value buyers from intermediate or long-term high-value buyers. These are people who are willing to buy immediately, but they will remain stuck at a certain low price. You can monetize these people by selling a book or an online course. You can safely segregate them in another mailing list. You can still make money off of these people, but please understand that there's going to be a ceiling. They are never going to level up like your big-time clients. For your big-time clients, think of the long-term, high-value, high-ticket funnel that I described above. The key secret you need to keep in mind. You must have a means of constantly communicating with higher-value clients. This is the key. Therefore, I insist that you build not just one mailing list, but several. Your mailing list must be segmented based on how quickly somebody wants to buy and the value of the things they want to buy. For everybody else, and I'm talking about information seekers who just don't want to spend money, you can set them up with a fairly short autoresponder series. If they don't convert by the 6th email or the 8th email, cut them from your list. Depending on your mailing list service provider, there's no need for you to burn a hole through your pocket supporting list squatters. Identify them and quickly delete them. For everybody else, work on converting them and pushing them higher and higher in the value chain. This is how you create a consistent flow of high-ticket sales. In fact, if you play your cards right, based on the system that I've described above, your mailing list goes up in value over time. The more mature your relationship becomes with your customer base, the more they trust you, and the more they're willing to buy a wide range of directly related and indirectly related products and merchandise.
That's it for this video today, and thanks for watching. If you like this video, then please subscribe and hit the bell of notification, so you will get notification as soon as I upload a new video. I wish you best luck for all your future projects. See you later next time.